Welcome to Uncaged, the show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with David Marlon. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here today, Bant.
I'm excited to talk with you, David, and we're going to be talking about some pretty important issues. David is a behavioral healthcare leader. We're going to be talking about his organization today, Vegas Stronger, and some of the work that he's been doing in the Las Vegas area and now taking nationally. David works at Vegas Stronger. It's a nonprofit organization focused on reversing the devastation caused to our community by the opiate epidemic and addiction. And so anyone who's been living literally in any part of the United States has seen how this has been a devastating situation for all of us. And so David's going to talk through some of the challenges, some of the good things, some of the ways we're going to solve this stuff. But before we get there, David, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a father of two boys. I have a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old. And that's my most important role.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I have had an interesting career where I worked first for an insurance company in the state of Nevada, becoming eventually the CEO of what is the largest insurer in the state. I then retired and I opened up a drug and alcohol treatment center. And as the founder, it slowly grew. And it ended up becoming the largest drug and alcohol treatment center in the state. So I kind of have experience as both a payer and I have experience as the provider. Mm-hmm. And a little less than 10 years ago, we opened up Vegas Stronger, which seeks to address and end the homelessness crisis that is affecting our city.
I mean, that's so critical. And tell me more about the journey that you've been on with Vegas Stronger and where we are right now.
Yeah, sure. And thank you. The impetus of Vegas Stronger was acknowledging that people in the more affluent areas had access to good drug treatment, and we watched them get well. But to me, the most underserved and the people who need it the most in our community, they tended to have much longer wait times to access treatment. When they did get treatment, they tended to have much shorter durations of treatment. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the quality of treatment as well as the additional services, they were much more limited, even though these people need the help more than anyone.
Yeah.
So Vegas Stronger was formed trying to take the best of commercial treatment centers and have it open as a nonprofit within walking distance of the shelters in downtown Las Vegas.
That's amazing. And I mean, when you look out there right now, David, has the epidemic that we've been experiencing here, we'll call it an opiate epidemic or a epidemic during a pandemic, lots of demics these days, but has it shifted? I mean, what are you seeing as, maybe the positives and maybe some of the challenges, the key challenges right now?
Well, first, we all know that the addiction epidemic has been becoming more acute. We're seeing larger numbers of people consuming alcohol. We're seeing larger numbers of people consuming drugs. We're seeing overdoses reach new highs each year. So there's certainly an addiction epidemic. At the same time, it's become well known that we have a mental health crisis, that back in deinstitutionalization, we moved people with psychiatric disorders onto the streets, integrated them into the outpatient system. And then over years, budget cuts gradually decimated the outpatient system. So we have, next to this addiction epidemic, we have this mental health crisis. To make things even worse, we have an affordable housing crisis as the prices of housing is ratcheting up and becoming unreachable for some of the folks in the lower echelons economically. And then just to put icing on the cake, we have a healthcare system that is too difficult to access for our most underserved. So these kind of four problems really ended up help creating Vegas Stronger. And Vegas Stronger is just an outpatient treatment center with access to psychiatric care, primary care, substance abuse counseling, mental health counseling, and then case management, all in a welcoming, recovery-oriented system of care.
If you're literally anyone that visits places like New York City, I'm in our New York offices today, or Las Vegas. Probably some of the most acute examples are San Francisco and Los Angeles. The problem is it's so clear and so palpable. Are there things that are happening on the national level that are perhaps leading us to a better place on this, or are we really still just kind of at square one on this?
It's interesting that it's really a local phenomenon, and depending on the way the government and the culture of the city address the unhoused. I'm grateful that Las Vegas is in a little island. So with over 100 miles of Mojave Desert all around us, we kind of have a microcosm that we could work with. And since we have professors studying the outcomes of everything we do, we believe we have found the solution. And the solution ends up really being three things. It's having immediate access to quality treatment for these people. It's doing interventions. And when the people aren't, coming in on their own, we're going out and reaching and doing interventions on folks who are in the street. Because if someone is unhoused, whether it's a mental health disorder, a substance use disorder, or they've been pushed out economically, having somebody reach out to them and intervene on them is an important thing. And then the third component is really a community education component. Las Vegas, being a cash economy, ends up paying people who are panhandling on the corners better than some other cities. And what we really are working on doing is turning the good-spirited desire to help. And instead of encouraging people to give money to people on the corner, recognizing more than 90% of that is going to illicit drugs.
Yeah.
And instead, giving it to the social service agencies who are actually helping people and helping effectuate change. And it's not just money, it's food, it's clothing. Anything you give to a person who's active in their addiction is enabling them. The only thing that you should be doing to a person who's actively addicted to a substance is help get them to treatment. And now with Vegas Stronger in Las Vegas, there's immediate access to treatment to anyone who's experiencing homelessness or anyone who wants help.
I think that's such a great point that you're making, David. It's such a knee-jerk response to have when you see somebody, you give some money, and perhaps maybe someone feels like they've helped in some form or fashion. But trying to make the system work so that we can scale this thing and we can actually not have this as an ongoing problem in our cities and for generations. It just seems like we need to kind of make sure that we scale up these systems. And I'm super excited to hear about what you've been doing with Vegas Stronger and how you guys are even talking about maybe expanding it outside of Vegas. So tell me, is that something that might be on the docket this year, or where are we with that?
Thank you. On April 1st, the beginning of second quarter, we're opening up something we've called Nevada Stronger, which is in Nye County, which is addressing homelessness and substance abuse in the rural parts of Nevada, as well as in Pahrump. On 10/1, or the beginning of the fourth quarter, we're opening up Reno Stronger with the same theory as Vegas Stronger, being walking distance from the shelters. So instead of sheltering people who are homeless and giving them 3 square meals and a bed, and then encouraging them to go panhandle or do tricks or commit crimes during the day and then come back.
Yeah.
Instead, we're encouraging these folks to get into treatment and address their psychiatric conditions, address their substance use disorder, work with a case manager, work out, engage in yoga, eat healthy. So a holistic program to help get these people back on track. A A wise man told me once that if you're in a shelter and you're talking to the peer group from people around you, and that's where you're getting your ideas on what to do next, you're really, you're in a sick system, and that we need to get these people into a healthy kind of treatment environment to be able to address irrational thoughts, to certainly address substance use disorders, and get folks on a path to self-sufficiency, to a life that they can be proud of.
David, it's just such a massive issue, and we've seen it hit not only urban communities, but rural ones as well. Recently up in the state of Vermont, and they have a huge opiate problem up there as well. And just trying to figure out how we get these solutions. And as you've outlined, kind of making sure that they can stay with the treatment, think about it holistically is so key. I'm excited to hear that it's expanding in Vegas, extending outside of Vegas. Hopefully we can have this everywhere as soon as possible so we can really eradicate this challenge and move to the next phase. But tell me about what you're thinking about for 2023. Are we going to see any major kind of changes in legislation or any kind of breakthroughs in this area?
Yes. In 2023, we've been working on getting CCBHC status, becoming a community behavioral health clinic. We just recently completed the Joint Commission accreditation. So, again, delivering the highest quality care with all the amenities that folks may get in the more affluent areas, we need to deliver the best possible care to people who are the most underserved. Those are the ones who need it, especially post-pandemic, where just about everyone would benefit from some counseling. But my goodness, the people who've been chronically homeless, there's no question they need it more than anyone.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to continually improving the quality of the care we deliver, as well as to continuing to expand our depth. We've been adding master's level licensed clinicians. We recently added another psychiatric prescriber. So making sure we can meet the need, because one of the keys to Vegas Stronger is having immediate access. So any day, if you walk in off the street and say you're tired of being homeless, you're going to see a therapist right away. And that brings us to have queuing challenges where, some people some days nobody comes in, and some days 20 people come in, and staffing that is a challenge. But we've been meeting that challenge every day. And, as we grow, we're committed to continuing to meet that challenge.
David, if there are people out there listening and watching that want to help in any way, how's the best way for them to get in touch with you guys?
The best way is through our website. And you could reach out in either chat or email. It's vegasstronger.org. One word, no space, vegasstronger.org. You also could always call me at 702-234-1356. We appreciate people reaching out. If you have someone who needs help, please contact us. As a learning institution with both interns and academics working there, we're happy to share our story, our ideas, and a system to help address the social condition of homelessness.
Well, David, thank you so much for joining us on Engage today. We've been speaking with David Marlon. He is the founder of Vegas Stronger. It's a community organization that is addressing the opiate epidemic during the pandemic. They're aiming to meet client needs where they are at, in the shelters, in the jails, and addressing root causes. Now aiming to bring that across the state of Nevada. This is an absolutely critical issue, everyone. We've got to get behind this. David, thank you so much for everything you guys are doing, and let's make this happen.
Thanks,
Great
Ben.
to have you on the show. Cheers.
Appreciate the opportunity.